Hello there and welcome back to another video. For this fight is Thanatos, the primordial god of death, versus Odin from God of War Ragnarok. So, again, same 9 point system. I'm going to do my best to give my opinion based off of what I've seen and everything considered, right? Lore included, right? From the novels and stuff like that. Let's just get straight into this. So, intelligence. While Thanatos is older than just about almost everything, because again, being the primordial god of death would actually probably put him like before the Titans. I even though he's that much older than probably Odin, he's probably around the same age, if not older than Odin. Um, I'd say even that with that included, Odin again, his main goal is to seek knowledge, right? Whatever knowledge that may be. If it can serve his purpose, then perfect. If it doesn't, it's good to know it. It's good to know something. That's kind of Odin's whole point. Again, Norse god of wisdom, right? So fighting ability and battle IQ. Now this one is interesting because Thanatos did fight in the Titan War, the Great War, right? Um, and so and he does show and he was able to fend off Kratos and Deimos together. So he's able to take on a very powerful uninitiated demigod and a very powerful new found god of war, right? And it wasn't until Thanatos killed Deimos that Kratos whipped him into killed him pretty much. So I don't know in terms of fighting ability and battle IQ. I'm going to give this to Thanatos. Slight edge. Again, the fact that Odin isn't primarily a fighter and is more of a manipulator and a cunning strategist in that sense, I'd probably give it to Thanatos. I mean, outside of the fact that, again, Odin's just overall smarter, I think in terms of fighting, Thanatos is probably a little bit better. Strength. Now, this is an interesting one because Thanatos scales pretty much right on par with Zeus, if not slightly more. I would say, strength-wise, he's probably around Zeus's level. For that, I'm giving it to him. Speed. Again, I'd give that to... Again, overall, Odin's not slow, but Thanatos is one of the more underrated gods within the God of War universe, especially from a physicality perspective, because he took on a Kratos that was so very young, right? He was, again, Ghost of Sparta took place between God of War 1 and 2. So he's not taking on the most powerful version of Kratos, and I think that's why Thanatos is kind of overlooked. But when you consider what he is and even the lore within the novels and everything, Thanatos is incredibly powerful. Again, the Olympian gods were afraid of him. I think Odin would be afraid of him too, considering all things. Again, this is the god of death, right? So something Odin probably would want to avoid. Durability. That's a hard one. Because Thanatos, it took a lot to kill Thanatos, because Thanatos was laughing when Kratos was kicking the crap out of him, which is, that's something, right? And it took for Kratos to open his chest up with the blades of chaos, I'm not too familiar, because I know the blades that Kratos uses has changed throughout the games, because there was like the blades of Athena, blades of chaos, blades of exile, etc. But Kratos using his blades opened Thanatos' chest up and then stabbed him with them. And that's how he's able to... Pretty much what Kratos did to Surtur is what he did to Thanatos, but just under different circumstances. Odin, he kind of got beat up with, like, punches and kicks. I don't know. I'm going to give it durability to Thanatos. Invulnerability. Again, it's the use of magic for armor. Energy projection and AP. In terms of AP, from what I've seen from his boss battle in God of War Ghost of Sparta, Thanatos doesn't have much in the way of AP. Or at least energy projection. Maybe AP he might have a lot of, but energy projection, not much. I'm actually going to give that to Odin. And versatility is the same thing. I'm gonna give versatility to Odin again, based on the fact that he's a magic user. He knows magic. And I've played God of War. His main offense is to manipulate magic in so many different ways, either throwing ravens at you, fireballs, using different elements like cold or frost or fire, whatever, however you like to term, like whatever the terms are. He can manipulate those things. Thanatos, he has a giant monster form, which is cool, but nothing so far in the way of energy projection or versatility for that matter. Now the X Factor. Now this is the interesting part of this whole thing. What is now the question is, could Odin kill Thanatos with Gungnir? Like if he were to stab him with Gungnir, could he kill him? I don't know. Again, when you consider the circumstances in which Thanatos was killed, it took a very angry, like probably arguably the most angriest you've ever seen Kratos within the God of War franchise, while being a full-fledged god, to kill him. Odin with Gungnir, Odin's powerful. Now, I don't know how powerful Gungnir. I think the Blades of Chaos or whatever weapon Kratos was using is probably more powerful than the Gungnir, because the Blades of Chaos scale above Mjolnir and Leviathan Axe. So he's probably... So I don't know. Again, Gungnir could probably take out Zeus. Maybe not again, considering it's not the Blade of Olympus. Again, if we were to do weapon scaling, Blade of Olympus is probably higher than Odin's staff. So I don't know. I think, in all honesty, considering everything, if Thanatos were to stab Odin with the sword, with his own, because I know Thanatos has his own melee, his own sword and whatnot. If Thanatos ever manages to stab Odin with his sword, especially if it's in the abdomen, I think Odin's probably going down. Odin doesn't, in terms of durability, it doesn't seem to take much. I'm gonna give, just based on the fact that I think it would take more to kill Thanatos than it would to kill Odin. Again, a primordial god of death that the Olympian sphere, who is supposedly around Zeus's level of power. I think, all things considered, I think Odin probably could win in certain situations. It's a 5-4. So, for this, you could say that the victory could be completely circumstantial, depending on environment, context of the interaction, all that sort of stuff. Like, if they're both bloodlusted, I think this could go... I think it could go... Maybe it could go either way. But if we're taking them at their... Like, if they're casually dropped off in whatever environment, right? Let's say it's a neutral area. I think more often than not, Thanatos is probably going to beat Odin. More often than not. And knowing Zeus is afraid... And knowing that Odin is afraid of death. Right? Again, he doesn't want Ragnarok. He wants to live, right? And he doesn't know what comes after death. So, I think the fear that he has might also play a factor as well. So yeah, that's it. That's again, this is my opinion. Feel free to correct me in the comment section below. I'm more than happy to get a different perspective. And that is it. So thank you for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and have a good day.